Oh, people. Hey, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro. Hey, I hope you like my first podcast. I definitely had a little cocktail in me and just letting it go. But hey, you know what? I'm always going to be 100 Charles Calhoun. Hey, today, this podcast is going to be brought to you by my Peach Crown. Oh, I love that peach crown. So I might as well go ahead and do me a little hooker right now, kind of like we used to do under the shade tree back in West Virginia up on my granddaddy on the hill up there with all the bros. Hey, this is to the OGs from West Virginia, Hey, like I say, rest in power, OGs who taught me to be 100% me. That's nice. And we used to sit back in the day, like up in the hill. And, Sunday mornings, we come by, me and my sisters and all our friends, we would sit by and we used to listen to all the dirty records and all that stuff. And there was this one cat, Blowfly, we used to listen to all the time. And I used to love his rhyme. So I kind of made my own little shade tree rhyme or whatever, using that Blowfly flow, and it goes something like this. This is Shadetree, the master class. I'm here to talk some soul to your ass. Guys and girls, little daggets and maggots, gonna rap to you till your ass get ragged. Let the world tune in. I'm under no strain. I just talk shit and swallow spit and do the Shadetree Pro thing. Oh, baby. Shit. Damn, I like that so much. I think I'm going to have to get me another little taste on that one right there. Yes, sir. So, as I said before, people, I really appreciate the people who's tuned in and watched or whatever, Hey, I even got some people who hit my Venmo. Thank you very much. I ain't got to tell who it was, but hey, thank you very much. As I said, I'm an IPO. I talked about that look, I'm an IPO. I'm just a new initial offering. God knows what may come of this and how it may go. But you know what? We know we're going somewhere because we ain't going backwards. It was a great quote. I always try to give a little quote from like one of my favorite, again, motivational speaker was Les Brown. And he said, operate out of your imagination, not your memory. I'll say that again, because that's going to fall in line to something I'm going to talk about when I talk about black golf today. And I'm going to talk about black golf today. Oh, you better believe I'm going to talk about black golf today. And in a sense, and it says, operate out of your imagination, not your memory. And one of the biggest problems that I feel, other than just confidence in itself when it comes to black golf, is the memory of historical things that happened. There is no question historical things happen. It happened to the Asian people. It happened to the Muslim people. I mean, it's happened all over the world, all kinds of things. But that's not taking no slight away from it, because, as black people, we still got to deal with that bullshit today. But but it is what it is. We're a little bit stronger. And like I said, not only do we got the First Amendment in the sense to be able to say what we want to say, Shadetree Pro, we also got the Second Amendment to, to basically, protect ourselves because of what the shit that we might say. But black golf, and you all already know that I have a problem with black golf, not because I'm so against my bros. I'm just against the fact is that we, as I said before in my, my little prelim about doing these posts, is that we're not doing anything. And I don't care what people act like we're doing. We're not really doing anything. And whatever we're doing is not making a difference. It's not making a difference. And one of the quotes that I remember said many years ago. I mean, someone had said this a long time ago. It said it to me, and it said it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared. So when Tiger Woods came along, as I said, we were so enamored, and I'm gonna go back to something that, the great Charlie Sifford, as he talked about, just let me play. He wanted to prove that he could play golf just as good as the white man. And that's fine and dandy. And I had no problem with that. Even that saying, I got a couple cats or whatever, cool OGs or whatever, I think maybe his nephew, whatever, that's fam with him, so they probably got some stories to tell me, from that historical side as well. But my only gripe is that we spend so much time focusing on about can't let us play, that we weren't preparing ourselves for that other business side. And the business side that I'm talking about, the most important side is when this white dude once told me one time, he said, Charles, the power in golf is in the teaching, bro. And he said, learn how to teach this game. One, you will always have a job because there's someone out there always trying to get better at the game of golf. And there's always going to be someone comes along or whatever that you might say something that just one thing could just change not only their whole game. A good conversation about golf and the instructions of it might even change your life. You just don't know. And there's too many examples of that happening from a lot of people that you say these top 100 teachers, and you know how I feel about that top 100 teacher. Whatever that means, but you got to give applause or whatever because they got to write something down. I guess if it was a book or a magazine or whatever talking about the top black teacher, can't wait till I talk about that. The top black teachers, in a sense, it might be a different story. I don't know. But I know one thing, when I've mentioned that to people before, bros seem to get offended because I say, hey, God, that's that slave mind mentality. Get offended when I say something about, well, who's the best black teacher in a sense? Like, what does it matter? Whatever. Well, they list them on the Golf Digest. I mean, good God Almighty, can we not list it for who the best black golfer is? But with all due respect, we already know who it is. You know what? One, I got a book. Two, I wrote my own top-down swing system and philosophy. And everybody, whether they're critics or lovers, whatever, they own my post and they know that shit works, and everybody else know that shit works. But as I said, one of the things we didn't do as black golfers during the era of Tiger Woods, we didn't prepare. We were not prepared. We was too focused on just wanting to play, and we weren't building teachers. Now, I made a comment one time in the Black Post, and they laughed at me. But I stood my ground. I'm from Florida. We got them stand your ground laws anyway. But I stood my ground, like Big Boy does. But I made this comment. I said, hey, you know what? I said when I'm finished with my work, top down or whatever, I said it'll be bigger than Tiger. Now, they laughed at me like it was a joke, and you all probably laugh at like it's a joke as well. But until you understand the logic of it, please tell me right now, what is Tiger's swing philosophy? What does he teach? How does it go? What's the layout? Is it, where's his books in a sense on the grip? Now, I know there's a book out there of how Tiger plays, all that, but that was written by somebody else, which Butch Harmon in there. But where is it? Now, see, 100 years from now, or whatever we want to call it, or however, even 40 years from now, whoever knows. In a sense, they'll talk about his great things that he's done. There is absolutely no question about that. The man got to get his props for that. But in the same, if they came down from Mars or whatever, aliens, some people think they may exist. I mean, we got some up at the White House right now. We got some aliens up there right now. So I'm not going to say that the aliens don't exist because we seeing some creatures, But the thing is this: if they came from another planet or something of that nature, you'll look at the accolades because they wouldn't even know what money is because different countries got different currencies and all that stuff, comparison to ours, whatever the deal is. But in the end of the day, it will always come down to the knowledge. And if you build information that helps every individual in the world that plays golf, then when it comes to the knowledge, the teaching, that's one of the reasons they're trying to take books and shit out of school, in a sense, because they don't want people to learn and know and understand the truth, and unfortunately, this world, you can take all the books out that you want, but all you got to do is get on your phone and look it up, and you can find it quicker, faster. And hell, you can have somebody read it to you. Hey, you people out there that's struggling, and you're not that, you need a little education in a sense. Hey, you can actually get on your phone and have people to read books to you, because obviously we can see a lot of things that's going on in society right now that some of y'all asses ain't reading shit, and trust me, it shows. Damn. Stupidity is going off like sparks. But anyway, that's another time for another story. But as I said, at the end of the day, it might not be explosive at Tiger, but I truly believe, like my book, Dead Fingers in the Middle Wrist in Sports, if people gave it a real, like I said, all it does is takes a platform for me to set up there and work with the people from the top down, to get people to see it. Because all it's going to take is one person of any real value of substance of what, to sit down with me and read and talk about this book. And then I'll blow it up, and it'll blow up real big. And even Tiger Woods, if he don't really already have this book and know what it is, then he's gonna get locked into it. But that's why I made that comment, not to say, oh, I'm gonna be a better golfer. I'll never be a better golfer than Tiger Woods. That man can play. But I could teach Tiger Woods how to hit a golf ball and talk to him about why a golf ball is hit. I have no problems doing that. I remember when I wrote for a magazine, I wrote it in a magazine, golf African American Golf Digest, and I put it on the cover, on the cover of that magazine, about what I saw wrong with Tiger Woods' swing, and brothers came out at me like, good God Almighty, like I was the devil himself. How dare you? Da 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 da. I remember Pete McDaniels, and I call his name out. I remember Pete McDaniels came at me, from good God Almighty, the way he was talking to me. But you better believe I checked him, and I said, I don't care. You're not in a position to tell me what I feel when these white teachers can say anything you want, and then all of a sudden, because I'm black, I'm supposed to just bow down and towel? No, oh hell no, brother. But I checked that, brother. In essence, don't run that game on me. Wrong guy, bro. I ain't getting in line. Tiger did things great or whatever, and that's not. And I ain't knocking nothing on Tiger. He did some great things, but bruhs just wasn't prepared to understand again that the power's in the teaching. And so, and the failures, because I ain't just going to say something just to say it. And some of those failures in the teaching part was this, and it goes into the black writers. They're some of the worst when it comes to golf. Now, they might be good in other sports, but they're some of the worst. And I don't have no problem saying it. And they might write some shit and talk shit about me, but that's okay. I don't care. At the end of the day, but you might write something bad about me, but hell, I could find some bad shit out on you. Because you got to remember, my babe is a writer too. So I got the power of the pen, and a whole bunch of people have tried me, thinking I was just going to be one of them that they just going to run over until I start putting that stuff on print and showing, certain people, no. I'm not going to jump on you. I'm not going to hit you. What I'm going to do is go at your pocket, because I keep my lawyer on speed dial. That's one of those things. But the black writers, what an opportunity that they had to really set back and quit writing these books talking about and complaining about what black golfers don't have or what they don't get or what they don't give you, because that could come backfire in your face. And that'll lead me into the APGA Tour. That'll backfire in your face, because all of a sudden then when you get an opportunity and you don't rise above, you got the money and you don't shine, then something else is the problem. As I told you all before, is knowledge and confidence in essence. And far as the black writers, see what they didn't do, and I hated it. What they didn't do, first and foremost, they didn't understand what the power of golf was. They just thought it was Tiger Woods and his playing, but they didn't understand that the power of golf was in the teachers. When Tiger coming out, it just kind of exploded teaching, in my personal opinion, because everybody's trying to figure out, well, what this boy doing? Good God Almighty, that boy can hit a golf ball. What is he doing? He's doing it better than Jack Nicklaus or whatever. It's just some of the funny shit that I heard over time. But I need another sip of this good old Crown Peach. Yeah, but so they didn't take advantage of the opportunity to build teachers and all that, which is the exact thing that's happening today. Still not building teachers. Black writers are not writing about teachers. They're trying to hop on board to get the best story, to write about this one or that one, and they're not taking the time to write about black teachers. It's insulting. Like when you take me, and I only gotta use me as an example because look, as I said, my resume speaks for itself. And I ain't never had a bruh sit down and really, come like a teacher, a writer, a writer, and really talk about, well, Shadetree, what do you know? What is this top down? What is this? Now, I had a brother that I was at the PGA show. Not going to call him out. He know who he is if he ever sees this. He was telling me to do this little, we was going back talking about the golf swing and I kind of laid my stuff out. And I was like, hey, this ain't no debate to tell you whether you right or wrong, because I'm not here to try to prove you right or wrong. What I'm just telling everybody and everything, that top down is my philosophy. I've written this philosophy. It is badass, and I can tell you from the rooter to the tutor how it works. Now, if you want to continue to doing what you're doing is working for you, that's fine and dandy, but you all doing top down, you just don't know it, because like I said, ain't no need of putting together a 400-piece puzzle when you only got 350 other pieces. The shoulder girdle was that one missing piece that nobody really talked about. That's why you stuff under your arms and try to feel connection, not realizing that you actually was creating a disconnection. But see, these are some of the things that could have given black writers some advantages to be able to get some moves, in a sense, to be able to truly grow the game for black golfers. Because what's really happening now is that it's almost like, quote unquote, the best teachers or the top teachers in the world. That's why they like to, they like to debate me, but take that back. They don't like to debate me. They like to just make arguments and tell me what I don't know. But what they're kind of doing, and I think it sucks, is that they're kind of looking over and, you got all your little programs, your little black programs here and there and whatever. You send them off to school, colleges. I love that, want to do that. But you really ain't building players. And then, you just happen to have a few that comes along, in essence, then all of a sudden you look over here, and then next thing you know, they came and the industry teachers then pick the cream of your crop. They throw money in their pockets, and then, you as a black golfer, you can't get them. They're gonna come back to you. Even if they come back to you, they may not want to pay you. Whatever. It's all kinds of stuff. I heard people used to ask me questions in a sense, hey Charles, you was working with a black golfer. You was working with Joey Steels, and I was working with Joey Steels, and I taught Joey Steels a whole lot of shit about the golf swing, and I took him out of a time when this brother was just like, he was lost. And when I saw it, and I didn't walk up to him like, oh man, I'm so happy, I'm so privileged that you allow me, man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I came here and, and basically here, if he don't agree with it, which I'm pretty sure he would, I checked his ass one night. One night when he was just complaining and bullshitting and talking about this and that. And, and I don't have time for that shit because I'm about work. Some ducks running around or some turkeys running around on the ground over at the Marriott Grand Vista. And he was like in the evening. And I turned around to this brother and I looked at him. I said, brother, let me tell you something. Do you remember our ancestors, couldn't even get on the golf courses, get spitting at them, shitting in the cups and all this damn thing. And here we are standing on this driving range. You're playing professional golf. I'm a black instructor owning my business at the Marriott Grand Vista in Orlando, Florida, a top hotel chain, top 500 in the entire world, in a sense, and you sitting here bitching and complaining. Brother, all you got to do is get your ass to working. Put the work in. Don't worry about all that other shit that don't matter. Nothing matters other than work, because you get absolutely 100%, I truly believe it. You get exactly what you put into what you're trying to accomplish. If you do not put the work in, you will not get it. I sit there and I watch some of these brothers that play on the APGA tour, and they don't think that I'm paying attention to them, especially when they come to my spot. They spend more time, still yet, messing around with that phone, looking and seeing what's going on. Well, I used to tell players, even when I was a college golf coach, I used to tell my guys, hey, don't put no Walkman on. I don't want to hear nothing. I used to even make Joy, I say, look, you give me 30 balls. And I mean, don't have no interruption, don't have nothing. The only sound I want you to hear is the striking of that ball. Because when you playing championship golf, there ain't no music out there. You ain't walking with no headphones on. The only thing you do is hear the sound of that golf ball. And when you hit it good, it is the sweetest sound you'll ever hear in your life if you're a professional golfer. And that's what you want to do. But unfortunately, from what I'm seeing and understanding of the APGA Tour, I think the concept is phenomenal. There is no question about that. I think, building diversity in the game of golf, because we are in a diverse world. There is no question about that. And I'm going to talk about something about that later when I said, okay, they want to get rid of DEI. Well, get rid of DEI, but it don't change the process. You know what I mean? You can look at a blackboard in a sense and call it a whiteboard, but hell, the color of it is still black. So call it what you want. It don't make no difference. It still serves the same exact purpose. But the APGA Tour, it is supposed to be a tour that is based on diversity and that. But my question is, does it really live up to its promise? And I'll tell you emphatically, absolutely it does not. And the reason it does not is because it does not build, and definitely in my opinion, but not only just my opinion, it's also with my eyes, because I see it. It does not build black teachers. That's the white man told me. The power in golf is in teaching, Charles. Understand that. So how are you going to have a black tour that's focused on growing the game for black players, but yet in your development, and I don't know everything about it, I'm just going by some information that I've heard, but in your development programs, then all of these people, whether you pay for it or not, they can only basically go to the white teachers, and you're going to pay for it. So how can black teachers compete with that when the system is set up for you to take all these black players, in a sense, and take them to the white teachers just because whatever little thing you got set up with the people who's giving you money? I mean, how fair is that? And how in essence or whatever is that real? How in the essence, in any way, shape, or form, is that truly growing the game of golf from a diversity standpoint? In my opinion, I don't see it growing it at all. How can you call yourself, once again, and I'm going to say it, how can you call yourself a tour that is set up for black players or diverse players, but yet your sole focus is not on building black teachers or not having black teachers as your program? Now, there's a lot of us out here as black teachers that ain't nobody, I know for a fact ain't nobody came to me, and they probably ain't gonna come to me because, I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. That's just not me. I'm just gonna tell you how it is. And the thing is, because my thing is, damn the politics. I'll talk about politics. I know for a simple fact is that at the end of the day, if you build good players and you got the mindset to think that you can build good players and you got the confidence to build good players, black, white, green, and yellow, all the rest of that shit's going to take care of itself. But unfortunately, as I feel about the APGA Tour, I just feel that the mindset of it, in a sense, is doing what you can or what you're allowed to do and not truly what you should be doing. You should absolutely, and I'm giving it to you, and you do not have to like me for what I'm saying, but this is my podcast and I can say it as I want. And as I said, and black people, how we say it, 2 tears in a bucket, fuck it. Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to have the balls to say it. And I got to say it because here's why. I think that tour's been around 16 years. Developmental tour been 4 or 5 years, something of that nature. Willie Mack is probably one of the better players out there. We got Tim O'Neill is playing on the Champions Tour, all that. We know the story of Tim O'Neill, and congratulations to Tim in essence. And, but everybody said, well, Tim, he's so long, he'll go out there and dominate. And I was like, ain't no fucking way. I said, he'll go out there and play well, but he ain't going to dominate. These motherfuckers know how to play. Shit, they know how to play. And there's a different mindset of learning how to play. And that's a lot of the things is that we as black teachers, a lot of these cats that's black teachers, they don't really understand what playing is. Playing really is not just hitting the golf ball. Playing is knowing how to go in here. Go real deep inside of here, in a sense. Knowing the essence and the mindset of breathing. Knowing the essence of, like I said, operating out of your imagination and not your memory. Start seeing where you want to be, what you're trying to accomplish, in a sense. I remember brothers used to tell me, I'm watching the Black Post a lot when they, and I mean, I was just like, good God Almighty, man, I like to take a brick and just like, whatever. I hear these stories all the time. Well, I walked on the golf course and the white people was looking at me and I couldn't believe this. And, how do you make this feel? Well, it's still the same, America, America is, I won't go into there, but, the K on the end of America, whatever. But I used to say things like, man, that shit didn't bother me in the least bit. And if any of y'all knew that where I used to play golf in Laurel, Ohio, or whatever, all these in different places, and out, what is it, Barbersville, West Virginia, out that in Lavallette, Sugarwood, all these different places I used to play golf. Man, I was the only brother that was out there. And I used to, didn't have no problem. White dudes and all. I tell all of them, y'all kiss my ass till you get shitty drunk. I ain't scared of none of y'all, because if you jumped on me, you did anything to me, you stepped out of line any way, shape, or form, I'm already with these white dudes that, that's with me. And if they let you all jump on me and it's stand by and watch it, or some shit like that, then they knew I'm going to whoop their ass. Because they got to deal with me. So I ain't never had to worry about that. So I always had my boys or whatever, because once again, I told you all I'm a leader. The United States military called me a leader. So that's what I do. I lead. I'm not a follower, because I spent all my days under the shade tree with my OGs doing a lot of following, preparing myself to be a leader. And that's why I don't have no problem talking about what I'm saying about the APGA Tour. I think the concept is good. I just think the structural plan, I basically think it sucks. Because, like I said, you're only building one concept. From what I'm seeing, you're only building one concept of basically, of just players. You're not building the whole thing. If you're going to make it a real tour, then make it a real tour. Make it that people are interested in coming to it. Make it, in essence, that that these brothers got a voice to be able to say what they want to say without having to worry about losing sponsorships, in a sense, because they can't get their voice out, and they're walking around kind of like to say, like they got a stick in their ass because they're scared to say anything because of fear of something. It's a lot of things that is but it's politics, and there's a lot of bullshit behind it or whatever. But like I said, more than 99% of the time, well, not say 99% of the time, in a sense, when you don't have absolute complete control or the balls to just stand up and say, hey, look, like what you're doing, but I got a different plan that make this go in a direction. Sometimes we just get happy when a man throws some money at us, or some companies throw some money at us. Then we at the whim of them companies or whatever. There's a lot of black companies out there with a whole bunch of money too. But you got to look at them. You got to be willing to look at them. You got to be able to build those companies up too. Because one thing I'll tell you all right now, when it comes to the knowledge of the golf swing, I'm the baddest motherfucker on this planet. And top down is the real deal, in a sense, because once I said it again. I'm sorry it may offend you all, and I'm sorry that I happen to be a black golfer, but at the end of the day, like I said, you can't fuck with top down. I'll take another shot of this. You can't fuck with top down. Hey, Brett, thanks, man. And Corey, thanks. I don't know how it's going to sound, but I did some testing. I'm kind of holding back a little bit. The other night, I was on fire. Because, look, if you're going to do the first podcast, you got to let that shit out. You know how long you're going to go. Over time, I'm going to try to do about 30 minutes, try to do it the best I can. But as I said, right now, I'm kind of doing my stuff. My producer, or my director, which is my daughter, she had to work today, so I didn't get to do certain things the way that I want. But you know how it is. But anyway, people, as I said, I got a problem with the black writers. I got a problem with the APGA tour, simply not because they are not good writers or good intentions. In my personal opinion, I don't think they really know what the power of golf is, which I just now told you. And then you look at it, a lot of times they go get all these when the white writers and everybody else want to know about black golf, they'll go get somebody, I'm going to call him out. Yeah, they'll go get somebody like Damon Hack and set him down with all these black athletes that happen to be playing in a charity event, and ask from all these basketball and football or whatever about what the fuck's going on about golf and why golf is. They're not fucking golfers. They play golf. It's not their profession. Just kind of in the movie 300. What is your profession? That's like fucking asking a farmer, in a sense, well, how do you think the NBA would it? Come, man, ask NBA players about NBA. Ask NFL players about NFL. Ask football players, in a sense, like I said, about their profession, but as black golfers and black teachers about the teaching and the profession of golf. What's the use of having them if you all ain't got the balls to sit down and ask them? Because that, to me, is bullshit. It's almost like that play we saw in the White House, is that you're not asking black golfers or black teachers, in a sense, about the status and the state of the game from a teacher standpoint. I do not even remember, the last time that they even had sat down and really talked to a black golf instructor. I remember on the Golf Channels, a guy by the name of Rodney Green, Ben was in this for years. I remember I raised so much hell to the Golf Channel, and I was sending message after message after message when they used to bring all the teachers on all the time. I said, you don't never bring any black teachers on there. You don't even bring them in Black History Month. And then eventually they end up having like Rodney Green on there when he was working down there at Innisbrook or something, put it on there. And he probably don't even know that with that. I gave so much hell about even in when they used to have the black tournament down in Port St. Lucie, called the Minority Golf Championship. And I raised so much hell writing and saying, I think it's a disrespect to call it a Minority Golf Championship, because as soon as you say minority, then you think that, that black tournament. I even had some bros say that to me. Oh, you talking about the black tournament? Well, it was a great diverse people playing in that tournament. But my granddaddy always said, and even my African-American studies teacher once told me, that as people of color, we are not the minority, and we've never been the minority. See, once again, as I said something about yesterday, eyesight over mindsight. Get your mind right, and then your eyes will start seeing the things that's relevant, and the things, like Les Brown said, you'll see the things that it's possible, Now, yeah, as black teachers, as black writers, and I'll tell you right now, the power of the pen is there. If somebody came to me, Charles Shadetree, okay, you said all these things or whatever, what's your solution? What is the first thing you would do? I would get every single black writer that works for wherever magazine, whatever the deal is, I would have them to do a story. I would have them to do write a story about every single black teacher out there, not just because they're in the PGA of America and all that stuff. Do a story on them, write about them, talk about them. So now these young youth, young blacks, whatever, can get an opportunity to see that there are black teachers out there. So when I don't go to my place and I hear the white guys saying to me, well, Charles, I don't even know there's no black teachers. Well, the black writer, the power is in the pen. Once again, it's your responsibility to be able to expose the black golfers to the world. If you're going to write about the white golfers, then write about the black golfers. It goes back to the Acres of Diamond, that story about the Russell Herman Caldwell, that was his name, and the founder of Temple University. It goes back to Acres of Diamonds. You're setting over here, and all you're doing is looking at this, trying to get and whatever, from this. But then you're not taking the chance to look over here and realize that on this side, if you put a little bit of work into it, put a little exposure, hell, you might get more over here than over here. Once again, mindsight. You're working from your eyesight. You're working on what you see. You're not working on what's the possibilities and everything. So that's kind of how I see that. Now, I'm not going to keep going into that because I kind of gave Mike a little bit of there about, what I would do, because ain't no need of you talking mouth. In other words, there ain't no need of you talking shit, and then you ain't got no solution to it. Well, I just gave you a solution. So black writers, step your fucking game up. Let's get real. Step your game up. And you all understand that, because if I'm sitting around you black writers, I ain't going to be sitting there with my mouth closed or whatever. I'm going to talk to you like we talk in the barbershop or whatever. Maybe it's time that we as black Americans, whatever, start bringing the barbershop out into the real shit and start talking about it. Everybody sit around, and every time I almost said it. It almost slipped, that's that Charles in me. But every time we walk around as black folks, everybody clutching their purse and grabbing this, looking over here, calling the cop. Shit, start walking like, Shaka Zulu. Start acting like kings and men in a sense, and start realizing that everybody's so scared of us that it means that we got to have power. So we do give energy. We set the tone for the world, style, energy, all these different things. So damn, quit acting like we second-class citizens and start acting like men. Then maybe we might get some women out there on the LPGA tour. Maybe they might start looking at their own bros or whatever and realize that bros might be able to help them. Some real black teachers could help them, because let me tell you what, I'll teach them all top down, because here's the thing is, you don't have to like it. It doesn't make a difference. But I have a top down philosophy to teach them. And that's where I'm going to conclude on what I said, not only just talking about black golf, but telling you exactly, you know, what my plans are and how you can make black golf better, especially through the teachers. Because as the white dude told me, the power's in the teaching. Now, let's get back to something else that I was talking to, because I told you, just under the shade tree, you know, I'm not just going to be talking about the golf, whatever. I'm going to talk a little bit about the politics, because everybody is a little bit scared. And I've heard people has told things to me about how scared they are about certain things that's going on. I've always talked about heard people talk about the DEI. Then I heard this brother on one of these podcasts said something about, he's like, man, and basically I'm going to use these words because the way he said it, I'm going to say it my way. It's like, man, fuck DEI. They already, absolutely just weaponized that. So fuck DEI. Used to be affirmative action, then it's DEI, let's go. And already, a great majority of people, non-black, get these privileges and advantages off of that. They didn't know it, but it's shocking when you find out, kind of how that goes. But what he said was something this, and it went in line with economics and GDP. As he basically said, about there was a time when, the GDP in itself was really based off of the spendings of white America, in essence. But now, because society has changed so much, that, the laws that we have in place that allow black people to get jobs and other different minorities throughout it to have jobs, that white America is not the controlling factor of the GDP. It takes a combination of all culture, especially here in America, the great melting pot, in the sense to be able to keep our economy sustained and make everything grow. So as he said, the only thing that matters is diversity, because we are a diverse country, without a question. And then more so, even important than that, not only we are a diverse country, equity, shit, there ain't nothing ever been equal in a sense. And then, inclusion, you know what I mean? Some of these people, you don't even want to be around their fucking ass. They ain't worth being around, because you turn around being fucking stupid as they are. That's why you see some of them, be Republican people. Fucking idiots. Listen to some of these guys. I mean, just, if you want to be a black Republican, be one, but just don't be an uneducated idiot. You make us look bad. You make us look like that person that they always interview. Yeah, I saw Doug. Yeah, he was, Yeah, that guy down there, he was the one, the guy that sell the weed. Yeah, Doug or whatever. Well, what they got to do with the car wreck that's over here? I just was, what I mean? Just bring the ignorant ass brother on there and shit to make us look stupid. And we're some of the most intelligent people in the world, and I mean, anthropology says that, but that's another story for another time. But the superiority, DEI, GDP, it all, we're so ain't none of this shit going back. So people, with some, that's kind of like they used to tell them in Vietnam, and all you white folks out there that's acting like so scared and shit. Let me tell you, like they told in the movie Cadence, when Lawrence Fishburne told, what's his name, the guy, Charles, you'll look up the movie. It'll come to me. I forgot his name. But as he told him when he was going off to Vietnam, told him to get with the brothers. Well, I'm telling y'all out there, white folks, that you're scared or whatever, get with some bros and get you understood about this superiority bullshit. Because let me tell you what, because these people call themselves want to be dictators. Well, if you get rid of the dictators, you'll find out what they really are and who they really are. Because they weak as shit, people. Because if you take them and you stand them out on their own, in a sense, it's easy to be strong and you're protected by everything. But when you got to stand on your own, that tells you what your balls are. Because I'll tell you right now, and I'm going to tell you how powerful, as they say, get with a bruh. Back in the day, and y'all know the historical events of it, from when the Hitler was, talking about as a dictator and had the greatness of what. Let me explain something to you. And another reason why I know this dictator bullshit ain't gonna happen here in America. It ain't even gonna go down. Because I got to give you one thing, people, that you understand. It's something that goes back to like Betsy Ross when she used to look. I think the woman that did the flag, when she used to look at the black people and she said, and I'm kind of quoting a little bit. She said, "I'm wondering, maybe is something mentally wrong with them, because to take so much abuse or whatever and still sit there and just, sing the songs or whatever, or are they just biding their time waiting for the opportunity?" Well, we know the latter is true. Well, that's the same thing in a sense. It's like y'all got to remember, Hitler was white people killing other white people. Now, some of them had to, for whatever reason, how that was. Y'all know the story of all of that. But what American white people learned real quick, in a sense, through slavery, Civil War, all that shit, hey, fucking with bros ain't no easy task. You know what I mean? And Hitler ain't had to deal with that shit. So them those wannabe dictators here in America, motherfucker, you fucking with you still got to go through fucking black people. And the only difference is, let me tell you what, you fuck with black people back in the day, and it was damn near illegal to have guns and all that shit. Hey, First Amendment is strong like a motherfucker right now. Second, First one too. So ain't nobody scared of this bullshit, this superiority bullshit or whatever. Ain't nobody giving a shit about that. Because like Jesse Owens did when he ran in the Olympics and he wore their asses out in the Olympics while Hitler watched all that shit or whatever, he showed them that superiority bullshit is only in your head. It is what you think is all this. You convince yourself because you got other people who's getting behind you and thinking that, well, you know what, as I told you all before, here in America, we're not divided. It's just those people who are trying to convince us that we are divided simply because they trying to play the game. But unfortunately, a lot of y'all, and I got friends or whatever that believe all that bullshit that be going on and listening to or whatever the shit is, knowing they being conned, but they ain't paying no attention to, tell the truth, they don't know they being conned or whatever. But that's why I told you, go get you a black friend, because a brother gonna let you know if you're being conned. We've seen that. That's why we so skeptical about everything. That's why, like I said, I'm gonna talk about black golf no more. But those are the things, man. Quit falling for that bullshit. The Constitution is strong. They ain't nobody gonna take over it. It ain't gonna. We're not even concerned about that. Black people will tell you right now, we done dealt with this shit before. We still deal with this shit or whatever. We ain't nobody caring about a bunch of fucking nerds, man. These guys are clowns, dude. And y'all acting like you scared, Hey, man, y'all think this motherfucker is Superman in a sense because, like I said, that's about the strongest thing you see. But let me explain something to you about the man sitting up there, See, he pimping game to y'all because when he was in reality TV and show business and all that shit, he was hanging around with the Puff Daddies and the bros and shit trying to pick up game or whatever and shit like that. So he came back over and he ran game on y'all because he figures white folks, y'all was easy to run game on. Because all y'all doing is seeing what a pimp would do. When I see Trump in office, all I'm telling you all right now, he doing exactly what a pimp would do. He getting all his bitches, all them other Republicans and megas or whatever. He getting all his bitches in line. And that's what a pimp do. Now, that's the only credit I give him. Other than that, fuck the rest of him. But that's what he do. But that's what a pimp do. And he got all his bitches in line. And if y'all don't like being called a bitch, then quit acting like one. Because ain't nobody giving a damn about your superiority because you don't have it and you never had it. And don't nobody give a damn about a dictator in a sense or whatever, because at the end of the day, as American citizens and most of us, and let me tell you what, I do not care about, he won the popular vote or whatever. It's more of us than you. So let that bullshit send that shit down the road, because you might find yourself getting fucked up. If you start watching all the shit, now you're watching the YouTubes and you're watching the Instagrams, these motherfuckers coming out with super hero power in a sense and getting straight knocked the fuck out. And I'm just telling you, you better keep that shit to yourselves, in a sense, or have some goddamn good insurance in a sense, or a good attorney, because you come fucking with me, I'm going to hit my attorney on you, because I'm going to hit you in your pocket, because I'm going to be able to pay for some eggs you come fucking with me. Y'all have plenty of eggs. So, but anyway, that's just my little spiel that I want to talk about there. When it comes to a little bit of politics, because I love politics and I love talking about it. My family, talked about it all the time. We was versed in it. We knew, and it was just a part of our life, and it was. My grandfather and mother made sure everybody voted, was registered. Oh my God, I almost made the greatest book. Hold up, Hawk. Yeah, I know you might have been drinking, but don't you ever drop that book, Hawk. If you drop that book wait a minute, are you playing games with me like The Rock did on WWE? How he turned on, oh my God. Don't you ever do that, Hawk. That's a different story for another time. But anyway, people, thank you for tuning in and listening to my podcast. I was a little bit nicer today because I really wanted to talk about some real stuff, and especially in the sense of black golf, and also talk a little bit about, people quit being afraid. We live, we die. What you choose to do in between it is up to you. Are you going to get your ass up off the couch and you're going to fight for what you want and what you believe? Or like I said the other day, are you going to sit down there and let cockroaches walk on your unemployment papers because you too stupid or ignorant or whatever it is to get your lazy ass up and go add to society and help build something, help create something, give a helping hand or whatever, stand up for something that you truly believe in, other than following the bullshit that someone's telling you and you believe and all this other crap, and then next thing you know, you lost your fucking job too, from the motherfucker who told you in the sense of whatever that it's their fault. And then the sad part about it, motherfucker take your job and you lose your shit and you still can't blame them for it. And that's that right there. See, that's a mental problem. That's why maybe we got, that's why they got drugs or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, people, just a few little leaves under the shade tree is that I don't know what my next podcast is going to be. I know that I'm going to try to do 2 a week. I don't know. I might try to do 1 every day. It just all depends on how everything goes out. I know I'm not going to do 1 tomorrow because I'm kind of busy tomorrow with some things. I got to do some a little bit of teaching things tomorrow. But I really I'm starting to really like doing this podcast. I don't know how long this is. I really don't give a shit. I'm just going to say what I want to say. Hey, look, if you don't listen to all of it now, break it down and look into it or whatever. But, I always give you some good conversation. Like I say, I could talk for hours, and I do say some shit or whatever. That's the real deal, because as I said, if I can't keep it authentic, what's the fucking use of doing it? You know what I mean? And it's just who I am. I am not out here to please anybody, in essence, to make you feel good about yourself. I'm only here to tell you exactly what I feel and why I do it and what I'm talking about. And as I said, this is the master class, here to shock some soul to your ass. And that's just all I do and how I do it, and I do it the best way that I can. So people, I hope you enjoyed this second podcast. We're going to keep this rolling and going in a sense, and hope it turns out to be as good as I want it to. Over time, we're going to see how everything goes. Remember, people, if you like what you're doing, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to download this onto my YouTube. Also, as well, people, you know, if you want to make a donation, I've had some people make a donation to me, and I say thank you, appreciate it, in a sense, just like anything else, no different than politicians or whatever. If you like to see me keep doing the things that I'm doing or whatever, hey, don't be afraid or whatever to make a donation. I don't care if it's $1 or $2 or anything. I'll give it to you where you could be able to hit my Venmo at Shadetree Pro. Hey, my wife all of a sudden did something called this link branch that I'm actually going to put up on the thing there. I don't know much about it, but she's going to be able to tell me a little bit more. But like I said, you know, if you like to donate to my cause, you know, and help me keep this going, because I am going to keep it going. And you know, and believe it or not, when people send you donations, that lets them know that, you know, people are interested in what it is you're doing, and they like to help you, you know, because, you know, sometimes things cost to move forward. No, I'm not going to be a preacher and sit there and be in a big old shiny house and all this stuff or whatever because people send me donations something. No, what I'm going to do is be able to try to give you the best logic and stand up for the little guy, because that's who I am. You know, family come from coal miners and all that. And I'll tell you right now, I might look good, dress good, smell good, talk well, all that stuff, but I'm always for the fucking little guy. And don't you ever in your life fucking forget that. Always for the little guy. Hey, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro. Once again, you know how I said, baby, always good golfing. Cheers, people.